The Divine Walk.
So, welcome back again, and today's topic is 4 important parenting lessons straight from the Bible, and this will help you very much. Have you ever realized the Bible is full of example for us to be very good parents, right? And in my request to think through some of the parenting lessons from the Bible. I tend to only see like sometimes some negative aspect of a biblical example, but I think it's because it stands out to us when someone does something wrong. And when we expected a certain outcome or a poor choice is made, it is like heartbroken, notable. But when someone does something in the aspect way or expected way, you tend to not even notice their decision. So here are 4 parenting lessons straight from the Bible. Then I was these short lessons up with a few examples, and I trust these tips and examples will help us avoid making the wrong choices. Let's go. So number 1, let's go. Be a good role model. When I say be a good role model, no matter how much you say, do as I say and not as I do, children would follow the active example. The role model, is more often than the verbal lesson, you teach. So therefore, it is imperative that parents be a good role model to their children, because sometimes the kids is observing you as a parent, and when they get old they're going to follow you. So be an example of what is you want to see from your children. And this is coming from 1 Corinthians 11 verse 1 and Titus 2 verse 1 to 10. It is sometimes humorous but often sad, but to see all that children who no one thought were paying attention tend to tell the same story, use the same vocabulary, or even dress and behave like their parents. 2, be unified in leadership. When speaking about parenting, I have a friend who often said that any two-headed creature is a monster. And what he's talking about is who are not unified in their decision. So his parents who are not unified in their decision are under determine the authority, the leadership of other parents without realizing the parents who engage in this type of relationship, with their children, with one another, are tearing down their own authority. Matthew 12 verse 25, they open the door for the children to play one parent against the other. That is be not unified in their decision. So this is another thing we have to think through when we want good parenting lesson, So this is a thing you have to take in consideration. Number 3, build a personal relationship with your children. Let me tell you, children who have good relationship with their parents will have a better and easier and early relationship with God. And God intend the family to be an example of God's relationship with man, and we are built in this image to give him glory and bring others to him. As a family, we have a captive audience to point others to him. Sadly, so many families don't function as God intended, and therefore they are not an example he intended them to be. And the last and final parenting lesson, which is number 4, intentionally train your children. Beyond being a good example, a passive but necessary aspect of parenting, you should engage in intentional train of your children. 2 Timothy 2 verse 2. You must spend time teaching our children about the Lord, how to live in this world today. And don't assume they will learn these things on their own. They certain won't learn it from their peers or the culture that surrounded them. You know, and while the church should be teaching the same thing, this should be a reinforcement of what is training at the house. And the church or the Christian school cannot be dependent upon to take the role of a family leadership. And that is not the way God intended to the family to function. Let me give you an example from the Bible. Abraham to Isaac to Jacob and to Patricia. So let me put it up here. So the book of Genesis extends currently to the family of Abraham through Joseph, his great-grandson. When we think about the four lessons mentioned, we can see the four of them playing in the family of Abraham. As I mentioned before, it is easier to see the negative example of these actions. So firstly, let me read it here. Role model, the line that Abraham did was to copy by his son Isaac. And the manipulation of Jacob was seen in Judah, his son. So unified now, Isaac and Rebekah did many things in their parenting, but one incredibly wrong thing that they did was to be divided on their loyalty to their children. Isaac loved Esau more than Jacob. Rebekah loved Jacob more than Esau. This caused competition in life of the two boys, to the point that Jacob fled to fear of his life when he converted his brother to surrender his birthright or the right of inheritance, right? So I'm putting everything on the screen. So the personal relationship come up with Isaac has a clear understanding of what God was based on everything that he learned from Abraham. We see that Isaac trusted the promise that God had given Abraham. In contrast, Jacob seemed to have a pretty bad relationship with his children because Joseph brother lie about Joseph be dead in comfort their father Jacob in Genesis 37:35. And you realize the comfort of your father, and they have told him the truth when gotten Jacob back, and they could have truly comforted their father if they choose to do so. And training now, this is where it come up. When God came to Isaac and Abraham covered in Genesis 26, it said that Isaac will have known all about the promise of God, but Isaac was integral, a part of the promise. In Genesis 22, Isaac was taught by Abraham and was well aware of what God has done in providing sacrifice to take Isaac's place of the altar. So we come to the end of our video. Do you have a biblical example, positive or negative, of these parenting truths that what we to share? Leave them in the comment section below. Even some parenting tips you have learned from the Bible, you know. So thank you for watching my video. And this is the end of the 4 important lessons straight from the